just another bit here I kinda want to mention. It's somewhat related to younger people, so it kinda makes sense. And I do wonder if this is the biggest schism we have with old gamers and new gamers. This from Revenant, in response to the stated by The Fighter. On the Final Fantasy doesn't respect your time. I'm almost 30 hours into Rebirth, and I feel like I did only 2 hours of the main story. Meanwhile, the other 28 hours is full cutscenes, generic Sunny World map side quests, minigames, etc. And, of course, we're never against optional content, we're never against exploration, and we're never against side quests. But they have to be reasonable, and they shouldn't feel as just padding for the game. Especially when we talk about the open world. Well, is open world really good? It can work with some games, but nowadays we have just open world by default because, hey, it's the new thing, it's the current thing. Is it the good thing, at least? Well, about that, maybe, maybe not, right? So we have here this tweet by Revenant saying, "Engaging gamers TM are just addicted to Tedium. They want video games to feel like a job. They don't think or yearn for actual escapism. They just want something hollow and mind-numbing to fill the time between working and sleeping." I don't know if you can agree to that. I do understand where the sentiment is coming from, but it really feels like this guy is into something. Because I don't think games in general are seen as full interactive experiences anymore, not by younger people. So I do wonder if that's just the schism. We older gamers enjoy the immersion, we enjoy the stories when we have them, we enjoy intricate gameplay. It's not really that intricate, but we, of course, hold in high regards meaningful interactivity with the game. But it kind of feels like modern games are just, or modern games slash modern gamers, because they're kind of related in this case. It's just about having a pastime. Sure, I've seen some people comparing the new gacha games with old MMOs. It's just insane grinding. But nowadays you have to do daily grinds, your daily quests, your daily stamina, your weeklies, whatever you want to call it, however you want to call it, the Tedium, instead of insane constant grinding in MMO. But digging it is somewhat different, right? It's just a checkbox. It feels like a checkbox to me, at least. It's not so much, oh, you're just grinding a dungeon for the drops, or you're just grinding something for materials to craft something. It is just, I had to do my dailies. Why? Well, they're dailies, they're weeklies, they always give me stuff. And especially when we're talking about gacha games, these daily slash weekly quests usually give you gacha currency, which also comes into relation with the fear of missing out, so on and so forth. But you don't really see too much. Of course, I'm not talking about every single new gen gamer, it would be insane to say that, but I think it's at the very least a common sentiment. You see this aim for games that are just immersive. I'm saying the games have to be long. I do appreciate it when games are on the longer side. There's also too long for games. I mean, oh wow, would you play this? I mean, it's 200 hours. I think 200 hours may be a little bit much. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. But then again, if you're spending $80 and the game lasts for 10 hours, that's not great. Not a great price either, right? There has to be some sort of balance. Everything is just seen as a checkbox nowadays, instead of wanting to get immersed and just play at your own pace. I know I fall for this sometimes, but usually just only on stream, because I'm achievement focused on stream. I want to do stuff, I want to complete the stuff on stream, because we have limited time here, of course. I think this may also be related to the content creation side of things. Because of course, if you're a content creator and something releases, you have to be the first one to play it, you have to be the first one to complete it, you have to be the first one to make videos about it, you have to be the first one so you can get all of the clicks. But I don't think that's a mistake, and it's a mistake for most people. I mean, if you're a content creator and that's your loop, whatever, you do you, I think that's for me. But I don't think that's the common way of playing. I don't think that's how games are intended to be played necessarily. Oh yeah, they released this game. I finished it in less than a week. What do you mean less than a week? Did you even have fun with it? And I'm gonna say that I don't think most people did. Well, maybe not most people, but there's gotta be a sensible amount of people that did it. And sometimes you really get into the game, you're like, why? I can't stop playing, it's so addicting. Really, with modern games? I don't think so. I would need some examples of that to happen. So I'm assuming at least some people that watch these kind of creators get into the same loop because that's what they see. But you don't need to get a game and just finish it in the first weekend. Back in the day, when you were a kid, you were usually kind of lucky to get 2, maybe 3 games a year. You need them to last. You would replay them a lot, you would try different stuff, you would explore a lot. It was pretty much the only thing you had anyway. Nowadays I think there's, to some extent, an oversaturation. It's probably overspending in some cases. Maybe not too much. We've seen the numbers. Yeah, not a lot of people buy a huge amount of games per year anyway. I don't know, it's... I do feel this insane gluttony of having to just finish the game right now. And it's supposed to be entertainment, not a checklist. You're not meant to be necessarily, oh, the best player ever. Just have fun your own way, okay? Is this me defending easy mode? I actually don't care too much about it. But I don't think every single game needs it. What about the replies here? I'm a little bit scared. It's a shame because game devs don't think longer is better no matter how much filler or shouting. Like, well, easy games being 30 hours longer than they should be. You can clearly see when some games are overstaying their welcome for sure. In the launching game is 10 to 20 hours, and the DL RPG is 40 to 60 hours IMO. Anything more or less, and you get messed up pacing. I can agree to this, yeah, that's probably correct. I mean, with the RPG, we may consider side content in the 40 to 60 hours maybe. You can have a lot of optional content anyway. I just want that sometimes that we play 4 sims, 15 hours a week. But it's not what I want in minority-focused games. I mean, there's also that, right? Different genres appealing to different demographics. Micro's Generation Syndrome, narrative inspiration, or anathema to them. It's also laughable the guy is a bit younger than me and is modern Final Fantasy is pejorative. He played all classic turn-based Final Fantasy when he probably grew up playing Roblox. Well, the guy is called My Opinion is Correct, so no rebuttal here, I suppose. I understand where this guy is coming from. See, Minecraft is a game that actually benefits from being an open world. It's the whole stick of the game. Open world exploration, blocky construction, and so on. Not every single game benefits from that. For some of them, it's just the embellishment. When people just want to experience existing the least amount possible between obligations. Yeah, I wanna be a hero in a fantasy land, okay? Shit, I still have the heart of the shonen. I agree, I couldn't finish the birth either. Genius and the writing caught up to me. And then frustration boiled over. Recently I've been getting into Xenosaga. It has flaws, but it's a great story and the gameplay is interesting. Outpost as well. I mean, seeing all the games on the PS2 I believe. Young map, I remember being captivated by pachinko machines because they look so fantastically complicated and engaging. The last monster are just slot-tier dopamine trips with a small tedious minigame at best. When the game reminds me of this, looks fun, isn't, doesn't care. Also, an insane amount of payments too, right? Also, clearly relates to modern gacha games too. There's been people praising FO4 for zero building mechanics because it incentivizes them to pick up cans to recycle. That shit has rotted everyone's brains. I see what they're trying to say here. I guess I can agree for the most part too. I don't think they're wrong. And if they're wrong, I don't think they're really too wrong. I mostly understand where they're coming from, and I can really see the vision here, I suppose. It's also kind of funny, because this is also in the wake of, the 10 out of 10 game, quote-unquote game of course, mixtape. It's the best, it's finally elevating games to the higher arts. Well, no, you cannot have just a story and no gameplay. That's just a quote-unquote interactive movie. I don't even know if that's improper description anyway. You can have just minimal text all the time with no real substance to the game. Sure, you might not need a story or something insane. We had the guy that mentioned the sim farms, for example. They don't really have stories anyway, but sure, you can have the farming theism if you want. This is the rushing up with games once again, which kind of disappoints me a lot. Because hey, I like games, I don't like anti-games. Then again, modern day. But for games you need a core set of rules and mechanics that interact meaningful with each other. Not just in a vacuum. If you're a little bit hopeful about the game being good. You don't need meaningful interaction with the environment, whatever it is. You don't need the open world necessarily. And you shouldn't be insanely preachy, and you shouldn't have just a bunch of minimal tasks. Fun that I say that when I'm just trying to get root of achievements sometimes that it can be... You take a rest on that. It's completely optional, at least, so... That's self-inflicted. That's not imposed to me by the games. Then again, how is that gonna help us sell microtransactions? Well, I don't think it will, therefore, completely disregarded.